By taking those actions and focusing on the things that you could do today, you begin to shape the person that you become. The late, great Zig Ziglar often said, you've got to be before you can do, and you've got to do before you can have. I gotta say, I have to disagree. I see where he's coming from on the point that he was trying to teach us there, but if there are things that you want to have, or a life that you want to build that you don't have yet, the only way that you will obtain this life is by becoming the person who's capable of receiving it and achieving it. So stay with me here. If you're a factory worker, you're gonna get more of that tomorrow. If you're a software developer, you'll have more code to write. And that's where things become hard to reconcile. You are this thing. Maybe you are 30 pounds overweight, but you want to be this different thing, such as being fit. So you've watched The Secret, or you've written down your goals, and you're wishing, and you're hoping, and you're visualizing. But at the end of the day, just like that old-fashioned Popeye cartoon used to say, I am what I am. And that becomes your default, your home, your normal. You know it's who you are. You know those are the results that you just get. And you just keep seeing the same thing show up in the mirror day after day after day. So how does that reconcile with the teachings like this? Here's another quote that some of you may be familiar with. Whatsoever things you desire, believe you receive them, and ye shall have them. Isn't that saying that you can hope your way to results that you want? No, not at all. The key in that phrase is, believe that you receive. So you've got to believe that you have already received it when you're hoping for this new thing. That's the missing link in all those schools of thought out there. The wanting, the visualizing, and the hoping, they're not going to bring you what you want. Like a magnet, you're going to continue to attract what you are. Now this isn't just new age airy-fairy stuff. That's just physics. That's reality. You can't escape getting more of what you are. So if Zig says we got to be before we can do, how do we be something other than what we are? Should we just resign ourselves that we are what we are and be content with our station in life? Not have any of these desires for more? You might do that, but I never will. I believe that if we learn how to really tune into our desires and learn the difference between an impulse or craving and genuine desire, like that real burning desire, that's how we get closest to hearing God's voice in our lives. It's my belief that we're here to see just what we can accomplish. I also believe that our opportunity lies first in our mindset. With the wrong mindset, options aren't even considered, and progress is all but impossible. But with the right mindset, we look for solutions and we consider obstacles as opportunities to learn and to grow. The most empowering mindset to maintain is that of a growth mindset. If we don't believe in a growth mindset, you default to a fixed mindset. A mindset with imposed and often blind boundaries and limits. My experience and observations have shown me that we're all either growing or we're dying. We're climbing up or we're sliding down. So what if you're in and you subscribe to this growth mindset? This is where I've got to come back to the good old Zig Ziglar and disagree. Not entirely, just in the sequence of his statement. See, I've transformed who I am by focusing on what I do every day, one day at a time. Over and over, showing up consistently and stacking one brick on top of another. So let's put that through some of our previous examples. Say you're 30 pounds overweight and you just keep attracting that same result in the mirror year after year. You're not seeing anything change. Although you know that you can grow and achieve great things, so what do you want to do? That's just it. You do what you can do today to start being someone else. Instead of being Karen, the 30 pounds overweight woman, you could start walking for 5 minutes every evening after dinner. Because you're outside walking every day after dinner, you may meet a new friend. And because you subscribe to a growth mindset, you might start thinking, this 5-minute walk is getting kind of boring. Maybe you come up with some progressive idea where every weekend that you go on a walk on a Saturday and a Sunday, you're going to extend it by 1 minute and then hold that for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday after. So now you're building in some progression. And heck, when you come up with that progressive idea, you might just say, you know what, when I get to 20 minutes, I'm gonna reward myself with a new pair of shoes. So you go to the store and you're buying a new pair of shoes now. When you get to the store and you're buying the new shoes, you see a little promotion for gym memberships half off or personal training sessions. So you decide, what the hell, I'm gonna go in on that too. And so by taking those actions and focusing on the things that you could do today, you begin to shape the person that you become. So let's go back to Zig. He said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Small daily improvements over time lead to stunning results. And this is all because you gotta do before you can be, and you gotta be before you can have. So let those desires, those I want to have things out. Write them down. Cultivate them. Define them. Prioritize them. They're the key, but they're only step one. Once you have those desires firmly identified, you need to ask, who are the people that have these things, these results, these outcomes? Who do I need to become to have these same kinds of results? And then focus on the daily standard of the things that you can do today that align with who you need to become. Start small, but stay consistent. Do it 100% of the time. And do it for 100 days before you even think about making a decision whether or not you like it. And don't rely on motivation. That is too fickle of a thing. Rely on discipline and do that thing for those 100 days, no matter how you feel. Before you even ask yourself the question, do I want to keep doing this? So you don't let that old Karen back into your head to answer the question that the future you should be answering. So if you're ready to transform, don't just think about it. Don't just wish for it. Do something about it.